We're live. Hi, guys. I've got 4 of you online. I know I've got Russell and Lydia. We have some guests as well. Hi. It's Claire here, and most of you, all of you know me. Welcome back to lockdown. Hey, Mark. Nice to see you. Good to have you online. I know Milan was trying to make it, so I hope he made it online as well. If you want to play number 17, that's the playlist that we're playing today. Oh, sorry, 16. Wrong one. 16. Yeah. And we'll start together. So I'm actually just going to stop the music for a minute for the first little section because we're going to just focus on breath and a little bit of structure around the class. So if you do have a block and a knee pad handy, it's good if you have them around you. If you don't have them, you have an opportunity to find them now. A pillow or a plastic lunchbox or something for a block replacement is a good idea if you don't have a block. If you have a block, you can place it under your glutes and get nice and comfy in your seated position, or maybe a pillow. And just roll your shoulders back and down and relax those shoulders back. So today's class will be focusing on creating structure to create change. And how we do that is by bringing in structure to our lives to achieve something that we want. So for the brave members, I'm going to be sending you a 6-week challenge this weekend, a poster that you can put up in your room or in your kitchen with a bunch of things that you can tick off every day to make sure that you're staying healthy and happy through this period of lockdown. So keep an eye out on the emails from us this weekend. And we'll start just with some breath first. So taking a deep breath into the belly. And exhale, sigh down. And with the eyes closed, just take that attention into the body, into the sensation. And just check in with yourself. How are you doing? And using that breath as an anchor to stop your mind from racing or overthinking. And this is a really great tool for use of meditation, a very simple thing that you can do for even 5 minutes a day, just to close your eyes, put your timer on your phone, and focus on your breath. And if the mind starts to wander, rather than judging yourself, just gently bring that attention back to the breath. Letting your shoulders sink down a little more. Maybe a little taller in the chest if you're starting to slouch. Keeping the belly soft so you can breathe deep into the abdomen. On your next exhale, you can keep your eyes closed if you like and remove that block from underneath you. And gently blink your eyes open enough to come into a side bend. So we're going to reach the right leg out and the left foot will stay in. The foot is about two fist distance away from the leg. I'm going to reach up with the left arm, take a breath in. The right hand goes on the inside of the right leg and exhale, that arm goes over the top of the body, over towards that side leg. So here, just keeping that head and neck relaxed. So seeing if you can relax right ear to right shoulder. And when we're folding over, it's really common when you start to fold over to close the chest towards the floor and to hunch over. And what we're looking for here is actually a side bend. So to do that, you need to almost shine your armpit towards the roof and have the elbow going towards the roof, and gently stretch over until you feel this side body start to stretch. We're not going too hard too early, so take it easy. Hand position 2, the left arm comes up and over, everything else stays the same, and point the fingers towards the left side of the floor, but the fingers are off the floor. Neck and head stays relaxed, make it nice and heavy so that you feel this beautiful stretch down the side of the neck and the shoulder. Release the jaw. Maybe create space between the teeth and do some little circles with the jaw if you're finding that you're clenching. Bring the attention back to the breath. Third hand position, hand comes behind you for a bind. So I'll just turn around so you can see what I'm doing here. Now it doesn't have to come around to touch the thigh if that's too deep. The hand can just be resting on the lower back. The goal is to roll that top shoulder open because we're working with binds today in our class. So starting to get that shoulder opening early. Stay for 2 more breaths. Let that head and neck be heavy. When you relax that neck and head even more, you will intensify that stretch through neck. So just see how much feels comfortable for you to relax the head. Next breath to come out, the right hand comes under the right cheek to take the weight of the head as you slowly rise up. And if you have your playlist available, you can press play now for the other side if you wish. And we'll bring the left leg out this time and go to the left side. So the right foot's just near the inside of that left thigh. The left hand goes onto the inside of the left leg and the right hand comes up and over this time. So we breathe in to telescope through the ribs, so we lift up, and then we exhale into the side bend and then let the head and neck relax. So for me, I'm coming quite low there because I have that flexibility. But for you, if you're starting out, you may be up here. As long as you're feeling this side bend, it doesn't matter. And if you just let that neck and head release, that's a great place to begin. Bringing the chin gently towards the chest and releasing that left ear towards left shoulder will also allow you to get into the neck. Again, if you're finding that your chest is rounding to the floor, try and open the chest towards the roof and that armpit opening towards the roof as well, wrapping that shoulder. Second hand position, the top hand comes over and points towards the right, fingers are off the floor, neck and head really relax. So the weight of your head is letting your neck muscles get this strong stretch. Closing your eyes and breathing. If you find it difficult for your head to relax, it is quite common. Sometimes it's a good idea to place your hand under your left cheek and let it take the weight of the head. That just allows you to feel safe, to let that head be really soft. Third arm position, that hand wraps behind you, maybe touching your back, or maybe it goes around to touch your upper thigh on the left side. This allows you to open the shoulder a little more and get more of a side bend. Also, the neck here will get an extra stretch. Watching the jaw, seeing if you can create space. Make little circles with the jaw to make sure you're not clenching. And close the eyes. And the goal here is to do that if you feel safe and also if it feels nice to bring that attention into your own body and stop the sensation through the eyes. Last breath here, release the bind from behind you. Left hand comes under the left side of the face to hold the weight of the head, bring it back to center. I use my hand behind the back of my knee to bring my foot up, and we'll come back down onto our backs. So feet flat to the floor and slowly rolling down. Interlace the hands behind the neck and head. Point the elbows up towards the roof. Just going to turn the music down a little bit. So interlace fingers behind neck and head, elbows up towards the roof, push the lower back into the floor, lift those feet up so that your shins are parallel to floor, flex the toes, breath in, come up to center, hold, breath in again, exhale both elbows to left knee and straighten right leg. Inhale back to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Inhale back to center. Exhale, elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Inhale back. One more the other side. Exhale, elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Inhale back to center. The next round, we're adding a little bit of complexity. Both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Now I want you to squeeze your glutes here and pull the lower belly down. So push that sacrum into the floor to activate the lower part of the body. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Squeeze the glutes, feel them tense. Push the lower back into the floor and squeeze lower belly down. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Squeeze glutes, pull lower belly down, push sacrum into the floor. Inhale back to center. One more the other side. Exhale, both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Push the lower belly down, sacrum down, squeeze glutes. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. Last round. Squeeze glutes, pull lower belly down. You're almost there. Inhale back to center, lower neck and head, lower feet to floor. Little windscreen wipe of the legs. Great part of doing abs on the floor like this is pushing that lower back into the floor. Make sure that you're really stable in the back when you're working the core. Knees come up. Feet apart and knees apart like frog legs. So flex the toes towards your shins. Interlace hands behind neck and head. Elbows towards the roof. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, both elbows to left knee. Inhale to center. So the head and shoulders are up off the floor. Exhale, both elbows to right knee. Inhale to center. Keep the neck and head up. Exhale, both elbows to left knee. Inhale to center, keep neck and head up, higher if you want to make it harder. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to center, hands come between the legs, 10 pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back down to floor, windscreen wipe the legs, so both knees over to one side and then the other. Little rock forward and back if that feels good. Otherwise, just meet us on your hands and knees for a tabletop in any way that feels comfortable for you. We'll have a few cat-cows to get started. So breath in, belly drops, gaze up. Exhale, push that floor away. Tilt tailbone to floor. Inhale, tailbone tilts to roof, gaze up. And exhale, push the floor away, gaze towards belly button. Thread the needle, lift the right hand up gently towards the roof. Exhale underneath the body, lowering that shoulder onto the floor and the right cheek onto the floor. If it feels good, the left hand can come up and around for a bind. Maybe it just rest on your lower back, or it comes around to grab your right thigh for a deeper bind. Over the month, we're going to play with some variations of this one as well. The left hand comes back, placing it on the floor, pushing back to tabletop position. Inhale, the left arm comes up, thread the needle on the other side. Exhale underneath the body, resting onto the floor. If it feels nice, lifting that right arm up, coming over and back behind you, maybe for a bind, reaching left thigh or resting on lower back. Exhale, bringing the hand down, come back to tabletop position. Hands move forward. We're coming into a downward facing dog. So we start to straighten the legs and move into our first down dog. I like to walk the dog, so I like to bend one knee and then straighten the other. Allow me to get into my hamstrings. Feeling into those legs. You may have been sitting at a desk all day today. I know I have been, so they may feel a little sensitive. I like to come onto my tippy toes, inhale, and then exhale, push down through heels. It just really gets through the hamstrings. Look between the hands. Step one foot between the hands and then the other. Forward fold over the legs. Breath out. Breath in, raising up. Hands come up overhead. And exhale, hands to center. And taking a moment to think of one thing in your life that you can focus on bringing every single day that will create a positive structure. Just one thing. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's just going for a walk on your lunch break. Maybe it's meditation. Find that one thing. Inhale, hands up to the sky. Exhale to fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands to floor. Step or jump back into your high plank. So pushing out through your shoulders. So we call this protraction when we're pushing through the shoulders towards the floor. Squeezing the glutes together so they're not just saggy. And we're in a long plank. You're also pushing your heels towards the back of the room, but your chest is going between your hands. So it's kind of going in two different directions. Always an option to drop to your knees if you want to take it down a notch. Chaturanga, first round, I recommend knees down. We bring the chest forward, bend the elbows early, keep your whole body stiff like a plank, and lower all the way to the ground. Inhale to baby cobra. Maybe the hands lift, maybe the legs lift if you've been doing yoga for a while. Feet down, hands down, push up and back, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the legs. Starting to feel the music a little faster and we'll start be moving the body a little faster as well. Look between the hands, option step or jump forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Breath in, hands up overhead. Moving through our sun salutation A. Breath out, hands to floor. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back into your plank. Moving through your chaturanga, which is a high to low plank, all the way to the floor if that feels good, and then upward facing dog, roll those shoulders back, squeeze the glutes, then tuck toes, meet me back in down dog. A few breaths here. Little movement if that feels good, or just stay steady. Relax neck and head, gaze towards belly. Look between hands, bend knees, or step forward between the hands. Inhale into halfway and exhale, fold. Bend through knees, slowly roll up into your Tadasana, hands up overhead, and breath out, hands to floor. Breath in, halfway lift. Breath out, hands down, and move through your flow. So your high plank down to low plank. Inhale to up dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Rise up, breath in, crescent lunge. Come deep into that knee. If you have a few options with your crescent lunge, you can have the knee bent if you're very tight in your hip flexors. If you want to work on hip flexors, you're going to straighten that leg and come deeper. This is obviously going to be stretching now the front of your quad or the front of your hip flexor. Lift the toes on the front foot, push into the front heel, hands up. And exhale, warrior two. So now the hips are opening towards the side of the mat. Again, the deeper you get into the legs, the more you're going to feel this in the legs. Lift the toes on the front foot, push through the heel, gaze to my front middle finger. Exhale, hands down. Step back, move through your flow, high to low. Inhale to come up. And exhale to down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Get low into the legs, deep into those feet, raise up, crescent lunge. See if you can get a little lower. See if you can straighten that back leg a little more by pushing that heel towards the floor and feeling that front quad get a little bit of an extra stretch. Lift the toes on the front foot, come a little deeper. Exhale, warrior two. Check your feet, heel and arch alignment. means you're in the right spot. Push down the blade edge of the back foot, lift the toes on the front foot, gaze to middle finger. Exhale, hands to floor. Moving through your flow of choice. You know the deal. If you want to pimp it up, you raise a leg. If you want to take it down, you lower the knees. Inhale to up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in, right leg rises. Breath out, step between the hands. Breath in, rise up, crescent lunge. We move a little faster. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reverse. Reach forward and back, reverse your warrior. If you feel any compression in your back hip, what I like to do is place my left hand on my left hip and push down, creating space through the back. It means I can get a little further without compression. Keep bent into that front knee. Then exhale into extended side angle. So we place that right elbow onto the right leg and reach the left hand up. If you want to stretch through the side body, reach that hand up overhead. One more breath in. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back. Take your chaturanga option, pimp it up or take it back down by putting knees on the floor. Breath in, up dog, and breath out into down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands, get low through the legs, raise up, breath in, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reverse your warrior. Maybe you can bind like I'm doing now, or if you want to traction out, push down through that hip to get longer through the side bend on this side. So you can have a play what feels good for you. Exhale, extended side angle. So left elbow on left quad, right hand rises up. Option here is to raise over the top to get that really nice side stretch here too. Relaxing neck and head. So left ear relaxes to left shoulder. One more breath. Exhale, hands come down, frame the front foot. Move through your flow. High to low. Inhale up. And exhale, down dog. We move a little faster through that same flow. Are you ready? One breath, one movement. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse and back. Exhale, extended side angle, side bend. Exhale, hands between, hands frame the front foot and move through your flow. High to low. Inhale to come up and exhale to down dog. Left leg rises, breath in. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Breath in, crescent lunge. Breath out, warrior two. Breath in, reach and reverse your warrior. Breath out, extended side angle. Side body stretch. Take a breath in here and then exhale, hands down and flow. High to low. Inhale up and exhale, down dog. Walking out the legs here, and if you do need a little child's pose, it is your opportunity to take it now for a couple of breaths if you wish. Next, inhale, raise that right leg up if you're in your child's pose. You come and meet us when you're ready. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale to rise. Bend the knee, open the hip. So we're stacking that hip. The shoulders are not twisting, so they're in line. That right foot comes towards the right glute, knee comes towards the roof. Now, an option here, if you do have your flip dog, is to flip over on your back. So with flip dog, the hips are square towards the roof and your knees are over your ankles. And then you reach over your head. This is a little bit more stable than wild thing, so I prefer it personally on my shoulder. So just see if this feels okay. This is a little back bend. Otherwise, stay in three-legged dog. Next, exhale, come back over into three-legged dog, raise the right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands, get low through the legs. We come up into arrowhead. So we're not coming up the full way. So the belly is lifting off the thigh, get long through the chest, breath in. Exhale, pistol grip with the fingers extended, arrowhead. Reach forward, really strong through that quad. Inhale, come up, crescent lunge, hands to heart, take a breath. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen through spine, and then exhale, hook that elbow around to twist towards the right-hand side. So we're doing a prayer twist. I'll do it here so you can see me. My hands are together. I'm using that friction to increase my twist. If you do have a bind, you can take it. If you don't need to. It's just an option. Inhale, open up into warrior two. Get deep into that front knee. Right hand comes over and see if you can bind your fingers behind your back. From behind it looks like this. If you can't, you're just going to place your fingers on your lower back or grab your t-shirt. The main objective here is to start to get you opening those shoulders. Exhale, come down into extended side angle, but we're going to come a little lower, so bring that hand onto the floor and push your shoulder into your knee to open the chest towards the roof. We're coming into a bind here, so the top hand comes behind you for a half bind, or if you have a full bind, come for that. Bird of paradise, if you have it, or you can try bound half moon. So stepping forward into bird of paradise, coming onto your tippy toe on the right leg, and raising up. If you come up, then you can start to straighten your leg, play with that. See how long you can hold it for. I see Milan made it, well done. I can see the comment. Bend the knee and slowly lower the leg down. Step back to your side plank. Hands come down to the floor. Come back to your plank, breath out. Right hand comes to the center of the mat, opening up towards the left. We're coming into a side plank. Option here is to lower that bottom leg or the elbow, or you can raise the top leg, make it harder. The last variation is a bind, if you want to start playing with a bind. So you can have one more breath here. Exhale, hands down, move through your flow. Option to have knees on the floor, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, roll shoulders back. Exhale, down dog, push through heels. Pedal out the legs here. Maybe not the head yes and no, just to release the neck if there's any tension there. Breath in, raise that left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, knee to right elbow under the body. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Get it nice and high. Don't let it droop towards the floor. Inhale up. Bend the knee, open the hip. So shoulders stay even. The knee comes towards the roof. The foot towards the glutes. Keep your neck released and look towards belly. Now, if you had it on the other side and you want to try flip dog, you can flip over into a back bend. Again, knees are nice and even. Knees are stacked over your ankles and reach forward. If that feels okay for the shoulder, just have a play. Otherwise, stay in three-legged dog. We'll meet you back there in a second. Exhale, hands down, step back up to three-legged dog, breath in. Exhale, sweep forward between the hands. Come into low lunge. Arrowhead, lifting the belly off that front thigh, getting strong through the chest, reaching through the top of the head, pushing down through that back heel, getting strong in the legs. Inhale, we reach forward for extended arrowhead. Keep pushing through that front heel. Stay strong here. Exhale, hands to heart, crescent lunge. Nice job. Inhale to lengthen through spine and exhale to twist over towards the left. So if you don't want to do prayer, you can actually make a fist with one hand as well. Just gives the wrists a bit of a break from being in extension all the time. Release that ear towards the shoulder. If you had a bind on that other side, always do the even, so also bind on this side. Exhale back into warrior two. Left hand comes up this time and right hand behind you for warrior bind. You might notice one side is much easier than the other. This is my tight side. If your fingers don't touch, just place them on your lower back and encourage the elbows towards the roof and straight up rather than out to the side. Exhale, warrior two. Breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. Option to stay here or come the full extension to the floor. Push your left shoulder into your left knee to open your hip, but also give you traction to open the chest. Right hand comes behind you, maybe a half bind. If you have a full bind, take it. If you have your full bind, come into bird of paradise or bound half moon. So bird of paradise, stepping forward, coming onto the tippy toes of the front foot and coming up if it's available for you today. If not, don't worry. Have a play with straightening the leg. Focus on that breath. And when you're ready to come down, try to come down with control. Step back into your lunge. Hands come down, frame the front foot. Step back into plank. Take a breath here. Left hand into the center of the mat, opening towards the right. Taking those options you had before with lowering onto elbow or onto knee. Stepping it up, you raise the top leg. If you want to play with the bind, interlace fingers around the big toe and try to bind the foot. Just an option if you want to take it. One more breath. Exhale, hands down, option, one-legged chaturanga or knees on the floor. Choose your flow. Inhale, we come up, upward facing dog. And exhale, and downward facing dog. Really nice. Good opportunity for a little drink, or if you want to come into a relaxing pose for a moment. Otherwise, stay in your downward facing dog for a couple of breaths. When you're feeling grounded, look between your hands. Step your feet forward, coming into a squat. So we've got a couple of fun, playful things today. And like everything at Brave, there's options. So you just choose which option you want to stay at. So first option, if your heels aren't on the floor, you can place them on blocks or pillows, if that feels good. I have my legs quite wide. My toes are wider than my heels, are pointing outwards, I mean. So your knees and toes are always going in the same direction. Hands come to heart, elbows on the insides of your thighs, and you can use them almost as a little bit of a vice to push those legs open. The tailbone comes down towards the floor as you lift through the top of the head. Malasana squat pose. From here, we have a couple of options. The first one is a traction and also a groin opener. So the right hand goes down onto the floor. You're going to bring your glutes up, straighten your arm on the inside of your left thigh, and then from here start to lower the hips. And you'll feel this opening through that left side and also your back, keeping that right ear relaxed towards the right shoulder. Another way to get into this is when you're already down in your squat and just go direct from here, but sometimes people struggle with that. So just see which option works for your body. Inhale back to center. We'll go to the other side. So the left hand goes down. Bring your glutes up a little bit. Right hand on the inside of the right thigh, not the knee. And we straighten the arm first and then start to squat down into that back traction, if that feels good. Otherwise, if it doesn't, just come straight into it from when you're already in your squat. See what feels good for you. Important thing is that you're relaxing your neck and head as well. Inhale back to center. We're coming into a bind variation. So right hand goes down the outside in front of your foot. The left hand comes up. Relax neck and head towards right shoulder. Option here is to reach behind you with the left hand and the right hand and see if you can bind the hands behind your leg. From behind, what it looks like is this. Some little tricks to get around this is the closer you bind towards your knee, the less chunky your legs are, so you can get your bind a little faster. So if you're trying to bind too low, it'll be more difficult than if you try and bind just below the knee. That's a little trick. Someone told me the other day they think their legs are too stubby to do this pose, but you can do it. Just have a little play around. So the left foot now for the next level, left foot comes under the body. We're going up into baby bird of paradise and then up onto the tips of the right foot. So you want to make sure with this one, that left heel is on the floor. So come up onto the tip of that right foot as much as you can as you start to stand up into the left. And the more you squeeze your arms, maybe you get a little bit of flight. Maybe not, but just have a play. And to come down, we're going to bend through that supporting leg. So it's like a one-legged squat. So it's still a lot of strength, and the foot comes down. Let's do the other side. So come into a squat first. How did you go? In the comments, you can tell me if you got some flight or not. And on the left side, we reach the left hand over and the right hand up. And if it feels okay for you and you want to come into a bind, you can do that here. Releasing that left ear towards left shoulder. A little neck release. To come into your baby bird of paradise, you're going to move that right foot under your body because it needs to take your weight. So it needs to be right under your hips. Then you come onto both of your tippy toes for a minute and bring your left foot nice and close towards your body, right onto the tippy toes. And then you push into the right heel, bring your glutes up, push more into the tippy toes of the left foot, and slowly start to rise. Doesn't matter if you don't get that today, just stay in a low malasana squat and have a play with the bind. That's stage one. When you're ready to come down, you bend through that supporting leg and you slowly lower with control. Nice job. Coming into a downward facing dog. Ready? Pedaling out the legs. How did everyone go with that? Oh, hi, Mr. Milan. Oh, Russell did it. That's good. And pedaling out the legs. Inhale, reach the right leg up. And exhale, sweep between the hands. Lower that left knee to the floor. When I mentioned it's a good idea to have some padding, that's where you're going to grab it. Really, really strongly recommend you pad up your knees for this part. Grab a pillow, anything. Look after your knees. Inhale, we're coming up into a low squat. So I'm interlacing my fingers, placing them on my quad, pushing down lightly onto my quad, and then encouraging my hips forward. So when you're doing this, if you notice that your hips are opening like this, it means that you're very tight and it's pulling that way. I'd like you to try to keep your thigh bones facing evenly towards the front of the mat so the stretch is even. Doesn't matter if you have to come out a little bit, try and keep it even. If you feel like you have more, the left hand comes behind you to grab the foot and you can gently start to pull it in. That's just if you're feeling super bendy and comfortable with your knee and you've done it before. I like to bring my hand down first and then gently release my back foot. Take a breath in, reach through chest. Exhale, come into half split, so straighten that front leg. The back is as straight as possible without too much rounding, so keep chest open. Inhale back into a low lunge. Exhale into half splits. Reach through chest and exhale, fold. Inhale, low lunge. And from here, aero lunge. So we push into that back foot. We're going to use strength to raise us up. So options are interlace fingers around the front thigh or hands up if you're strong. Inhale to prepare, and exhale. We just lift that knee just a smidgen off the floor using strength. Hold for another 2, for another 1. Hands to floor first, then the knee. Lizard pose. So right foot walks towards the right side of the mat. Maybe you stay on your hands. Maybe you come down onto your elbows. Feeling the stretch into the hips. That right foot is staying flat to the floor in this one. Neck and head is relaxed. In yin yoga and Chinese medicine, they believe that the hips and the jaw are connected. So often when we're stretching our hips, our jaw will start to clench. So just notice if that's happening to you. See if you can create space. Inhale, coming up onto your hands into flying dragon. So we come to the blade edge of the right foot. The right hand comes onto the inside of the thigh and gently encourages the thigh open, rolling that top right shoulder back. Little micro bend through that left supporting arm is useful as well. I'll show you from this way so you can see me. So I'm gently encouraging that thigh open while looking over my right shoulder. Option here to reach behind you if you also did the other bind and grab the back leg, bringing it in gently. Stage 3, if you're really bendy, you can lower your elbow to the floor and open the chest. But that's just for those who want that little extra. Otherwise, stay as you are. One more breath, whichever you chose. And exhale, your back leg gently releases. Don't slingshot it down. Coming into half pigeon. So walking that foot towards the left side of the mat. This is when Ross goes, yes, because it's like the hard part of the class is over. And you can walk your chest forward and relax down. Just checking your alignment. I nag on a lot about alignment in pigeon, so I'm just going to shut up in this one and let you guys enjoy it. Relaxing your head down. And seeing if you can focus on that breath if the mind starts to wander. We don't get a lot of opportunity to check in with ourselves. So using this time to really feel your body and to feel your breath can be really, really valuable. Option to stay as you are, or if you want to try King Pigeon, we've been preparing for that through the other poses today. So you can gently start to come up if you want to try King Pigeon. And I like to bend my leg a little bit more so my shin isn't so parallel to the front of the mat, so it's more bent. I flex my toes so they're extended towards my shin. They're going to keep me upright. And I bring my glutes up so that they're actually, my right glute is not on the floor anymore. Left hand comes behind me and grabs my back foot. If that feels really intense already, it's a good idea just to stay here. Even for me, that feels strong, but I know I can do the bind, so I'm going to show you what to do if you want to do that. Just an option. Then you can have a play with reaching the right hand behind you, and I place the foot on the inside of my elbow on the left side, and then the hands come up and around to bind. Chest is open to the side to start off because it's a deep back bend. As you get more advanced, you can open towards the front, but that can be quite challenging, so stay to the side to start. And when you're had enough, it's quite full on, don't stay there for too long. Come back down into your pigeon for a moment, and then all of us will meet back in downward facing dog. So be nice and gentle here because it's quite a deep stretch, and then straighten the legs for down dog. Walking out the legs here, pedaling out the dog is a nice option if you're feeling like your legs have gone a little bit to sleep through that intense hip section. Inhale, raise the left leg up. And here, if you push down through that right leg, you'll get a really nice opening through the hamstring after that hip section we just went through on that right side. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Lower that right knee down. Pad up the right knee. So get the right knee padding if you haven't got it. Interlace fingers around the quad. Come up nice and high. Push down into the quad and then see if you can encourage that right hip forward. Definitely feeling more tender after Ross and I started running again. So I definitely am feeling it in my hips. An option here, if you feel like you have the flexibility and it feels okay, you can reach behind you with that right hand and come into a bind. If that's hard to balance, you can actually place your right hand on the floor, have your left hand coming behind you to pull the foot in towards the butt. Otherwise, just stay in the version before and encourage the hips forward while they're straight, so they're not opening towards the side of the mat. Exhale, lower that back knee. Take it gentle. Breathe in to inhale through chest and lengthen. Breathe out, half split. So we straighten through that left leg. And when I talk about straightening, again, the hip bones are even towards the front of the mat. We're reaching through the chest so the back is straight and then folding. We're not doing any like extreme rounding through the back. We're trying to keep the chest open. Inhale back to center, low lunge. And exhale into half splits again. So you creep the hands forward. Inhale, lengthen through chest, and exhale to fold. Inhale back to low lunge. Coming into arrow lunge, lower the back foot so the top of the foot is on the floor. Inhale, hands can interlace on the front thigh or hands up if you're feeling strong. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, lift the knee up. So the knee's just coming up off the floor, not too much. That back foot is flat onto the floor. For 2, for 1. Lower the hands and then the knee. Look after that knee. Lizard pose. Walking left foot over towards the left side of the mat. Maybe you're on your hands. Maybe you come down to your elbows. And release your neck and head. So see if you can release even more and get your gaze all the way to your belly button. So this is allowing the top of your vertebrae to decompress. It's a release of the neck. Seeing if we can use that gravity to allow you to sink a little more. Inhale, push back up onto your hands, coming into your flying dragon. Come onto the blade edge of that left foot. That allows us to bring the left hand on the inside of the thigh and encourage the thigh open, not pushing on the knee. Keep a little micro bend through that right elbow. If you did it on the other side, you can reach the left hand behind you to grab your back leg and pull it in towards the body. So this is foot to butt again. If you're super bendy, you might be able to come down onto your right elbow as well. What we want to aim for here is if your chest is closed, you're already working, you're quite tight. If your chest is opening and you're able to feel quite flexible here and you're bringing your foot towards your butt, then you can come down. Otherwise, stay here. To come out of the pose, release that back foot gently, and we'll come into half pigeon on the left. So just checking you're nice and even. If you're really folding onto that left side, just pop a block there to keep your hips straight, okay? And then releasing forward and down. And seeing if you can bring your attention to that one thing that you want to do in your life, that one simple thing that can help improve your day. And what structure can you create to create change? So what can you do to ensure that you do this thing? And will this thing you've chosen create extra happiness or change in your life? So an idea is just an idea without structure. So find that commitment now to follow through on this one positive thing you want to do every day. Option to stay here or King Pigeon. If you're coming up to King Pigeon, up onto your hands, you're going to bend that front knee a little more. Flex the toes. Your toes are going to be your brakes to stop you from falling forward. And then you're going to be lifting up a little higher than normal. Right hand comes behind you to grab the right foot and start to bring it in foot to butt. If that feels okay and you feel like you might be able to go a little further, you can lift up onto your front quad and you can place your inner elbow your foot on your inner elbow, and left hand comes behind you for a bind, keeping the chest open towards the right-hand side. To come out of the pose, if you feel like you're going to fall, just use that left hand to catch you from your fall, and gently take that back leg down. And everybody who is in your half pigeon, you can bring yourself up and meet us back in downward facing dog. We'll pedal out the legs here. Look between the hands, bring the knees between the hands slowly. And we'll sit on our heels for a moment and get straight through the back. Close the eyes and connect to the breath. You can have a little toe stretch here if you want to make this a little bit more active. So you have your toes flexed and you're basically putting pressure onto stretching the whole backs of your feet. If this is too much, you can bring your hands down to the floor. Really great release through the feet, especially for us women in high heels. Exhale, bring the feet back down to the floor, glutes to the floor, and we'll come down into our bridge pose. So tickle the backs of the heels to prepare. And if you do have a block, it's a good idea to pop it between your thighs so you stay nice and active. If you don't have one, you just have to not cheat. So tickle the backs of your heels, breath in to prepare. And exhale, push the hips up towards the roof. Fingers interlace behind the back, push into the floor. Roll the chest under so the shoulders come under the body. Squeeze the glutes. Tilt the tailbone towards the front of the mat. And push those heels into the floor and drag them back towards your body to activate through hamstrings. Keeping strong in your bridge. This is when you go, if you ever go to the physio, this is one that they give a lot for back pain, apparently. I've never been to a physio. It's a really great exercise for people with back injury. To gently come out, you can release your hands and then gently bring your upper back, middle back and lower back to the floor. Release the block from between your thighs and windscreen wipe the legs. And we'll come into a bridge again. So if you want to use a block, you can. If you want to go up without a bridge, we'll come up for 10, without a block, we'll come up for 10 breaths. Tickle the backs of your heels with your index finger. That's the right spot. Breath in to prepare. Exhale, lift the hips up. Roll the shoulders under. And push through those heels again and really activate those glutes. When you activate the glutes, make sure the knees are not going out towards the sides of the mat. You want to suck them in. That's why a block is really useful. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring the upper back, middle back, and lower back to floor. And windscreen wipe the legs around. Or if you want a butterfly pose, that's an option. Feet together and knees apart. Whatever feels better for you. Coming into an inversion of your choice. If you are working on anything at the moment, you can come into that now. So handstand, pincher, anything like that. We'll be going into shoulder stand. Restful, waterfall or Viparita Karani is just a block under the sacrum and legs up. That's an option. Or if you're at home, legs against the wall is super nice. Otherwise, let's come into shoulder stand together. So coming into shoulder stand, your body is almost like a little tripod and you're squeezing your glutes and legs together so everything is active. Plow pose is an option, so we flex the feet and then the toes come over the head, maybe onto the floor, maybe not. And when you're here, you can play with bending the knees and coming into deaf ear man's pose, so the knees come close to the ears. And if the hands are flat to the floor, if the feet are flat to the floor, the hands can come to the floor. And focus on your breath. To come out, push the hands towards the floor, palms down to control, and use your core to slowly roll out each vertebra at a time until it's flat on the floor with lower back last. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Fish pose. So with fish, you can have your palms facing on the floor, roll them under your glutes, and you can flex your feet. Keep your chin towards your chest, bend your elbows like you're looking up towards your toes, and then your head and neck can fall back. And once you're up, you can point your toes. This is a counter stretch to the opposite of what we're doing in our plow or our shoulder stand. So the neck is in a totally different position, a counter stretch. To come out, I first like to bring my chin to my chest, look towards my feet, then just straighten my arms and relax the head down. Bring your feet in towards your body and push the lower back into the floor to allow it to feel stable again after those back bends. Straighten the left leg, and the right knee comes into chest for a supine twist. Exhale, bring knee into chest and over the body. Keeping the gaze just towards the roof helps the neck relax and realign. No need to have more compression at this point if you don't want. To deepen the stretch, you can straighten that top leg and see if you can get your hand and your foot to meet and maybe play with straightening that top leg. Gives you an extra little stretch in the hamstring. If that is not feeling cool for you today, that is fine. Just bend the knee. Inhale back to center. Straighten both legs onto the floor. Push lower back into the mat. Breath in, lengthen. Breath out, left knee into chest, pulling in deeply. And exhale over the top of the body. Supine twist on the other side. If you did the extension version on the other side, then straighten the leg and do it on this side too. Gently coming out of this pose back to center. Happy baby, last pose to push that lower back into the floor. I've done a lot of back bends today. So realigning and creating pressure so the lower back realigns is really important. Pull down on the outsides of the feet, pulling those knees in towards armpits. And when your back is feeling happy, you can come into your final resting pose, your Shavasana. And here you have permission to completely and utterly relax. Gently starting to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe your head moves side to side as you massage the back of your head into the mat. Inhale, reaching the hands up overhead and reaching from tips of fingers to bottoms of toes. Exhale, knees into chest. Pushing that lower back into floor. Maybe hands bind around the fronts of the shin to tighten this little ball. Keeping eyes closed, and when you're ready, rolling onto your favorite side. And then helping yourself up to your final seated position. Eyes stay closed and hands resting on the thighs. Bring your hands to heart and acknowledge the space you've created within yourself today. And come back to that structure you have set up to create change. And what one simple little thing you want to do in your day that can help bring more positivity into your life. For me, it's meditation, and I'm going to make sure I do that every day because I'll put an alarm on my phone. That's my structure. See if you can create structure to create that change. Namaste. Thank you for your energy and for showing up to classes. We super appreciate your support during this time. For us, it's great having this community and having you guys support us. We appreciate it so much. So thank you. And we hope to keep seeing you. And I will send you the 6-week challenge poster as well this weekend. So yeah, keep an eye on that from the emails, and write to us in the chat because I'll be online just after the class if you want to ask any questions. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good night.